There are a lot of guest lecturers that come from abroad at specific times to do specific courses, so it's very fun to see the different styles of lecturing and education that these lecturers bring. The lecturers definitely expect you to do a lot of the work on your own. While they do provide the lectures and they are usually very good lectures and you can learn from them, you are also expected to do a lot of your own studying and interpreting the material on your own. So you definitely have to be very disciplined about your education.
Yeah, the lectures usually consist of slides, and some lecturers like to sort of draw a lot more on the blackboards, and also a lot of self-study. When it comes to calling lecturers by their first names, it really depends on the lecturer. Some lecturers prefer to be called by just their first name and dislike being called anything else. And some lecturers expect you to call them professor by their surname or something like that.
About approachability, I would say that it again really depends on the lecturer, but most lecturers are very, very forthcoming, and if you catch them outside of lectures in the lobby or in any hallways, then you can definitely just come up to them, ask them questions, and they are usually happy to help you.
A lot of lecturers like to hang out in the school, so you can find them during their office hours. Also, we have sort of an email system, so you can email them at any time if you have any questions you'd want to ask them. Regarding studying in English, I'd say at first it was a little bit strange because I was so used to only speaking in Latvian and learning in Latvian. It took a little bit of time to adjust, but if your English skills are fine, then it won't be that difficult to adjust, and it will sort of become the norm, and studying Latvian now for me feels a bit strange.
For me, it was that I had already had the experience of learning in English, so it made it easier, but I would say that maybe the first few months are a trial run of sorts and you may not feel as comfortable, but the more you do it, the more those English language gears turn in your brain and it becomes like second nature to you.
So I would say that lecturers definitely encourage people to share their opinions. There have been some cases where the course of the lecture, the structure changes because of what students have said and their opinions. We also have a thing called focus groups after lectures, and also anonymous surveys for each lecture where students can sort of tell what they like, the pace of the course, what they dislike, what they like to see change. And then it sort of is taken into account for next year and is adjusted for the next year students.
I love SSE Riga because it definitely takes into consideration all of the opinions of students and tries to cater to our education and to make it better for the students especially. And the lecturers are very, very forthcoming. They usually ask for your opinion, and if you have any questions in class, you can just raise your hand and they will try to answer to the best of their abilities.
There are also a thing called Q&A sessions. It's usually right before the exam where you can come if you want to, and you can ask or prepare already before the lecture some questions. The main reason for those Q&A sessions is for the lecturer to answer the questions of the students.
Regarding feedback from lecturers, you do get that if there are any assignments mid-course. We also get comments from them if exams are online and sometimes even if they are on paper.
Some lecturers also encourage you when you get back your exam if you have any questions or things you disagree with regarding the grading. They also encourage you to come to their office or meet them at some sort of set time to discuss, and they give you direct feedback. Teaching assistants solve problem sets that is given to them by the lecturers mostly. And they lead seminars, and during the seminars, the teaching assistants solve the problem sets, and the students are free to come to any teaching assistant since there are multiple sessions happening at the same time. How to become a teaching assistant? You have to be one of the best in the subject and score one of the highest results in the exam the previous year, the year you took it.
And since you are teaching someone, that makes you even more proficient in the subject, which improves your own skills. So it's good for the younger years and it's good for you, for your self-development as well. There are a lot of guest lectures and visiting speakers. Usually the guest lectures are very intriguing and about topics that we have already discussed in class sometime, and they really delve deeper into those topics that we maybe have covered surface level in classes. And I think it really adds to the learning experience because they are taught in a very academic way to you, and you get to see how they work in real life.
Before coming here, I thought that economics was just calculations and some similar stuff. And the lecturers have taught me that you can also be very outgoing or very introverted. Like economics is not something that could be put in a box, and well, the economists are not always the same, they are varying. And that taught me that you can pursue some career and still have a great social life and be just a fun person to be around.
Maybe there's this misconception that economists are just big academics and really introverted and don't go out much. They just crunch their numbers. But the people that I have met here are really very, very fun and amazing, and they have changed my perspective of what it means to be in the field of economics. Whatever your niche interests are, there is going to be something in the field of economics that you can pursue. My main tip for new incoming students is to not be afraid to ask questions. If any question pops up in your head, just raise your hand and ask it. Or, if you're a little bit scared to speak out in the lecture hall, because that's understandable, then just email the professor. Don't be afraid. They won't judge you for any dumb questions, because there is no such thing as dumb questions, and the lecturers understand that perfectly. If you don't understand something, then there will always be help for you here.
The lecturers are very forthcoming, and you have to understand that they want you to ask questions. They are very knowledgeable in their own field, and they will be very helpful, and you can use their knowledge to advance further.
And also remember that the lecturers have very good connections in the world, so you can always just ask them for some opportunities in the form of networking.
I would say the most memorable class would definitely be one of Morten's lectures. For example, in macroeconomics, I vividly remember his last lecture where we gifted him a video, and we all dressed up as Morten with a white shirt and a tie. And I remember it was a pretty emotional day for everyone since it was his last day at the school.
For me, a really memorable course was marketing. We had a guest lecturer, Marijus, from Lithuania, and we got to make our own ads for real companies and launch them on Meta Ads. And it was a way to really test out the field of marketing in a very, very hands-on way. And it has stayed in my mind for a long time now, and was really, really fun.